If you want to take your Christmas light installation business to the next level this year, start advertising, start bringing in more work, I have a treat for you with this video. So I'm going to be breaking down A to Z on how to run Facebook ads for your Christmas light installation business. We've made thousands and thousands of dollars for other Christmas light installation companies with these exact strategies that I'm about to share with you. So I hope you enjoy. I put a ton of effort into this video, and I even leave timestamps below if you want to skip to certain steps of the process. Again, I hope you enjoy. How to run Facebook ads for your holiday lighting business. Let's go. All right, so there are assets we need before we can actually start advertising, okay? So what we have here are the three things we need. And like I said, if you already have this stuff in play, go ahead, you could just skip to whatever timestamp is the next step of the process. But if you don't, I'm gonna give you a full breakdown on how to get all this set up. Okay, so first we have our business page. So this is where the ad will be appearing on people's feeds when they're scrolling. It will be under your business page. Second, we have the ad account. Now the ad account, we're able to publish ads on here, edit the ads, and add the payment methods. And then the business portfolio, that really holds it all. So it'll hold your account, your page, pixel, and more pretty much complicated stuff that we don't need to worry about for this video. But the basic three things we need is going to be the business manager, ad account, and business page. So the visual right here, the business manager is going to hold really all of the assets, including the ad account and the business page. So now let's actually walk you through how to set up the business page, the ad account, and then the business manager. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is simply just add a business page. So what you're going to do is just go to facebook.com and then go ahead and select pages at that bottom, as you can see, and then just click create new page and then fill out all your business information, and now you have a business page. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is create a business manager or a business portfolio is what they call it nowadays. But all you do is go to business.facebook.com/overview, and then you're going to go ahead and create a new account if you don't have one already. So the last two things we need to do is just go into the ads manager, and then first we are going to connect our business page. All you need to do is take that business page URL and connect it to your ads manager account. Now we just need to create that ad account. So what we're simply going to do is just go ahead and click add accounts and then click create new ad account if you don't have one already. And then finally just assign yourself to that ad account. So now you have access. Okay, so now that all that is set up, let's actually create our first campaign. So how we're going to do that is just go to adsmanager.facebook.com and then go ahead and click create under campaigns. And now we're going to choose the campaign objective, and we're going to select leads because that's what we're optimizing for, and that's what we want for your Christmas light installation business, as many leads as possible, right? So instead of choosing engagement, traffic, or awareness, we want leads. So let's go ahead and select leads, and then we're going to choose the campaign setup. Now, we always do manual lead setup just because it's a lot more customizable for the company rather than the recommended settings by Facebook. You can't really do nearly as much. So we always do a manual leads campaign setup just so we can tailor it more to each individual company. So let's go ahead, select manual setup, and then click continue. So now let's actually talk about the campaign structure. So as you saw, we just created our first campaign. But then under the campaign, we have ad sets. And then in the ad set level, we can actually change the audience, placements, budget, schedule, all that type of stuff. And then under the ad set level, this is where we're actually going to create the actual ads. So the format, media, all the creatives, the copy is going to be on that ad level. So the campaign, like I said, we're choosing the objective. So like we did, we selected leads. And now the ad set level, we can start selecting different variations of audiences, placements, etc. And then finally, the ads are just going to be the format, the media, and the actual ads themselves. Okay, so now that we are on the campaign level, let's create a name. So what I usually like to do is company name and then the objective. So the objective is leads. So then that's fine right there. And then we can skip over these things like the campaign details. It really doesn't matter. But I do want to talk a little bit about the Advantage campaign budget because I think it is worthy to explain, even though we're going to keep it off in this video. But if we turn it on, basically we're handing Facebook the reins and saying, you choose what ad set you want to spend the most amount of money on. So right now, for this example, we only have one ad set, but if we had multiple ad sets, like I'm going to go over later in this video, then Facebook would then decide what ad set it wants to spend the money on. Because right now, if we had it off, then we're controlling the budget within the ad set. So if we put $15 and then another $15 on a different ad set, it would spend equally. But if we turn this on, then it would decide what ad set it wants to spend the money on. But like I said, for this example, we're just going to keep it off. Usually I keep it off. Sometimes I do turn it on. It just depends what is actually performing better. But let's keep it off for this video. Okay, so now we are in the ad set level. So we have the campaign, then the ad set level. And I want to go over a quick explanation on structuring your campaign, why you might want to have different ad sets or different campaigns for each time you're running ads. So I brought up this visual to help you better understand how to structure your campaign properly. So as you can see, we have the campaign, ad set, and ad level. So at the campaign level, we always just want the service. So if you have two different services, for example, pressure washing and Christmas light installation, we want two different campaigns. We want to create a fully new campaign for that. We don't want to mix and match. At the ad set level, I like to separate them with videos and pictures. And each time you test different pictures, a batch of them, I like to create a new ad set. So as you can see in this example, one ad set we have videos, and then one ad set we have pictures. And then within the ad set, we have the two different ads. So I like to run 2 to 3 different ads within the ad set. So we have video 1 and video 2, and then right here in the pictures, we have ad 1 and ad 2, which is picture 1 and picture 2. Just to keep everything nice and organized, we have different ad sets. We really don't want to mix and match just because it can throw off the data. So make sure if you have a new batch of videos or a new batch of pictures, you're always just separating them. Okay, so now that you have a little bit more context on how the campaign works, the ad set and the ad levels, and how they go hand in hand, let's start customizing the ad set level. So what I like to name it is maybe just video and then broad. If you're using videos, and then if you're using pictures, you would change it to pictures. That's what I like to do. And then also saying broad is the targeting, okay? And then what we're gonna now choose is the conversion location. So we have website, instant form, messenger, etc. What I like to do is I like to choose instant forms. I see it as kind of a happy medium, right? Because if we choose messenger, you are going to get quite a bit of volume, but you're going to get a lot more tire kickers just because it doesn't take that much effort at all for someone to send a quick message on Messenger. Instant forms, we're also collecting their email, their phone number, and any questions you want to add on that form. That's why I like to use it. You can use website too. It is a little bit more advanced though with the tracking and how many leads you're actually bringing in from your website. It can be a little bit more difficult to track. So that's why I just like instant forms for simplicity and also collecting their data. I also highly recommend you get a CRM that's going to kick all this information right to the CRM so you can follow up with these leads as soon as they submit a form. Next, what we're going to do is just select your Facebook page, very simple. And then the performance goal, we're going to keep it as is. We don't need to worry about dynamic creative for now. It's a little bit more advanced. We're just going to keep this off. And then this is where you're going to be able to choose your budget, because remember, if we were using the campaign budget, you would choose it up there. But for this example, we're just going to do it on the ad set level. So we're going to keep it at $20 a day. You really don't need to worry about the time because all you have to do is just click reset and then it'll just reset from there. So don't worry about the timing. Next is the audience controls. So obviously we're just going to put in, it depends on the area you're in. I like to do a 15 to 20 mile radius. So if we just put in Chicago, we would simply just do Chicago. And then because Chicago would be very inner city, then we might want to put the radius a lot lower to 10 miles just because it can take a lot longer to travel 10 miles in Chicago rather than in a more rural area. Next, what we're going to do is Advantage plus Audience. So this would be your targeting. This is where you can choose your different type of targeting you want. And I have a whole video if you want to check that out, of course, after this video on targeting and the different targeting options you can use. But if we click on Advantage Plus audience, now we can specify the age and then the genders and then go into more detailed targeting. I like to use Advantage Plus because this is basically saying even if we enter the detailed targeting that we want to do, and if Facebook isn't matching very well with that, it's just going to go back to broad targeting more. So we want to keep this Advantage Plus audience on. And if you want, you can just leave it broad. Broad works too. Or you can also start getting in here and start saying, 30 to 65, and then start adding some interest or behaviors. It also works. I would just recommend split testing because it's different. Sometimes broad works better, sometimes interest targeting works better, and you can do even the demographics of income. That works very well. Top 25% to 50%. It's very the targeting is very good on here. Okay, so you can just choose what you want to do, and then yeah, that should be it for the Advantage Plus targeting. Like I said, sometimes you could just leave it broad though, and it works just fine. Let's see, we have the placements would be the last thing. Don't worry about the placements. Facebook is very good at placing your ads where it needs to be placed. So don't worry about the placing on here. I would just leave it as is. So make sure you have your location right. You can also drop pins on here too, which is pretty cool, and also exclude certain areas if you want. So you can exclude like certain areas that you don't want. For some reason, it's not letting me drop. Okay, there we go. And you can go exclude this area. Just if you see a little bit lower income there and you don't want to target, then you can go ahead and exclude those areas. So that is it for the ad set level. You should be all good to go on the ad set side. Now let's actually jump into the ad level. Okay, so now time for the fun part. We actually get to start creating our ads, crafting our ad copy. In my opinion, the best part of this. But before we actually start uploading your ads, I'm going to show you how to create ads that actually convert on Facebook, how to write copy that will actually convert for your Christmas light installation business. Okay, ad creation, probably the most important part of this video and actually running Facebook ads. So stick around for it. I promise it's going to be super valuable. So we actually don't want our ad to look like an ad. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, right? But let's just pretend it's 2015 and you're watching TV and a commercial comes on. So what do? Do you stick around and watch the commercials? So me and my family, we would all get up, go get some snacks, go to the bathroom, go on our phones, anything to avoid these commercials. So the same principle applies with social media and running your ads. So when ads just started coming out, let's say early 2008, when Facebook was still very new, it was easy to get clicks because people didn't know what ads were and were just so intrigued by clicking on an ad. But over time, it has just been burned into our brain to recognize ads and just avoid them and skip right over them. It's called banner blindness. So our brains are smart and we are extremely good at looking at things of interest and just subconsciously skipping over things that just do not interest us, such as ads. We don't even realize it. Thought exercise. Think of the last time you searched on Google for something. Where were your eyes immediately drawn to after hitting enter? So think about this. The first link, the second link, probably not. You probably looked immediately at the third or fourth link without even realizing it. So here's an example. You just hit enter and your eyes are immediately drawn to that fourth link because you skip right past those sponsored ads in the beginning and you just go to that fourth link. The same principle applies with Facebook. So let's just not look like an ad. I mean, the whole point of people going on Facebook is to see their friends and family, not your ads. So if you're going to post ads that look like this, you already lost. And the way we get such good results is by posting ads that look like this. So this is something that people would go on Facebook to see. It is very native to the Facebook experience, seeing their friends and family, showing personality and showing faces like this. So get creative with your content and ask yourself, what would people go on Facebook to see? Now, before you actually post your pictures and your videos, ask yourself this and go out and create some real good content. Okay, so now you should have a pretty good idea on the content that you should be making for your Facebook ads. So let's actually go ahead now and upload it. So we're on this third section right here, and then we just want to make sure our Facebook page matches and our Instagram account matches as well. And then we're going to select single image or video. And then here is where you're actually going to be able to upload it. So as you can see, you just click add media, and then we're going to add the image. So once you have selected the image, it's going to look something like this. And this is where you're going to be able to customize the different sizings for it. So for example, I'm going to put 1:1 the square image on the Facebook feed because that's what Facebook recommends, always a square image. So make sure instead of the original, you're doing a 1:1. And then for the stories, reels, and then the different apps and sites, you're going to want a 9:16. So unfortunately for this image, we can't use a 9:16. So you're going to want to go into Canva and actually create a 9:16 and crop it accordingly. So it looks a lot more native when people are on the reels scrolling, and it'll fill up the entire screen. We just want to take up as much real estate as possible. Okay. And then for search results, we always want to do what's recommended by Facebook. So if instead of the original, we're actually going to click recommended to make sure that image is placing properly. Okay. So then we're just going to go ahead and click next. And I always select image enhancements and let Facebook enhance the photo if it needs to. So I go ahead and click optimize, and then we're just going to click done. So now that our image or video is uploaded, we're going to be able to preview it on different placements. For example, we can preview it on the 9:16 for the Instagram stories. And this is why we want to crop it accordingly to make sure it's filling up that entire screen. But we can also go to the Facebook feed, and as you can see, it's a 1:1, so it's going to look very good on the Facebook feed. And then now we're going to talk about the primary text and the headline. So let's talk about it. So writing your ad copy. Now this is the primary text right above the image or video you decide to post for your ads. And one thing I want to say right off the bat is just keep it simple. People very rarely read the full ad copy, especially if it's more lengthy and complex to read because of the short attention spans nowadays on Facebook. So keep it simple, keep it easy to read. And there are actually two different types of copy you can write. So there's benefit-driven copy, and this is going to focus on the positive outcomes of your service, or there's pain point and solution copy, and this highlights a problem and then presents your service as the solution to the problem. So here's a benefit-driven example copy. For example, transform your home into a winter wonderland without lifting a finger. So right here, we're providing just the positive outcomes and what they can imagine your service will do. And then we say, our professional Christmas light installation services brings the holiday magic to your doorstep, making your house the envy of the neighborhood. So what we're getting them to do here is just imagine what your services can do for them. So then this would be the pain point example copy. So struggling to find time to decorate for the holidays. So now we're getting them to resonate with that question. Tired of tangled lights and risky ladders? Okay, now they're resonating more. So then we're just going to paint ourselves as the service that can solve their problem. So let us handle it. Our Christmas light installation services takes the hassle out of the holiday decorating, giving you more time to enjoy the season with your loved ones. Okay, all we're doing is painting ourselves as a solution to their problem. Now let's talk about the headline. So the headline is going to be right below the image or video and right next to that call to action. So the call to action would be sign up, get quote. It's just telling them what to do. So the headline is very, very simple. It has one job, and that is to get the people to read your primary text and get more information on what you do. So get creative with this. It can be very simple, and you just want to split test a bunch of different variations to see what works for you and see what gets the best conversions. But remember, it only has one job, and that is to somehow get these people intrigued enough to read your primary text that we just went over. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and put the primary text in along with the headline. For the primary text, I ended up going with that pain point solution type of copy. I really like it. I think it works really well. And as you can see, I spaced it out too. I didn't just have it all one like this. It's called a wall of text, and people get quote unquote intimidated by reading all of that at once. So we just want to break it up for them so it's a lot more digestible for them to read. And that's why I did split it up like this. And then for the headline, very simple. This isn't too creative. Like I said, get very creative with it. This is just a quick example, but Christmas light installation near you. Honestly, looking at this ad, I'm confident this would actually convert. And if we just go ahead, click down here with our call to action, I just like to do get quote. You could click get offer as well if you have a nice offer with that. So I'm just going to go ahead, click get quote, and we should be done with the ad creation part of this. So we got our primary text, we got our nice image that will actually, show personality and very likely to convert. And then we have the headline, which remember our headline goal is to get them to read the primary text. So the ad looks good, and now we're on to the next steps. So now we have to talk about analyzing the data. So we're going to talk about different metrics to look at when advertising on Facebook. And I genuinely believe this is what separates okay advertisers from great advertisers on Facebook, is being able to look at the data non-emotionally and be able to make informed decisions on what to do next with your ads. So we're going to go over 3 right here. There's a lot more, but these are the 3 basic ones that you need to understand. So we have the cost per click, cost per lead, and then the CPMs, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. So how much are you paying for 1,000 impressions on Facebook? So right here we have our cost per click, and that is simply the ad cost divided by the number of clicks on your ad. So how many times are people clicking on your ad on Facebook? So cost per lead, we just have the total amount spent divided by the total leads that you actually brought in. And then finally, we have the CPMs, which is the total amount of ad spend divided by the number of impressions times 1,000. Okay, so I actually brought out the whiteboard to help you better understand and go through the key metrics when running Facebook ads for your business. And I know boring math, but I see people make this mistake all the time when running ads. They're not understanding the numbers, so they don't even know if they're profitable when running ads. And I'm going to make sure you understand if you're profitable or not when running your ads. So the average ticket, these are just really rough numbers, but it'll just drill my point home. So the average ticket, let's just say it's $1,000 for each installation you're doing. And your closing rate is 33%. So you're closing 1 out of 3 leads that come into the door, okay? And then your cost of goods sold. So how much is it actually costing you to fulfill on this service? So paying your guys, installing the lights, providing the lights, if you actually provide the lights yourself, let's just say that's $200. And then let's just say your cost per lead is $50. Honestly, not great at all, but these are just rough numbers, right? So cost per lead is going to be $50. So now what we want to do is times the closing rate. So we're going to do 3.3333, right? So this is just, we're closing 1 out of 3 people. So it's just going to be 3.3. So now it's going to be 166, right? So it's actually our cost per sale is going to be $166. So it costs us $166 to bring in 1 new customer. So we're not done though. We need to make sure that we're actually profitable. So we're going to take our cost of goods sold. So each time we have to fulfill for a customer, we're going to add this $200 to the cost per sale, because this is just for advertising, okay? And then this is our actual fulfillment. So it's going to be 366. Now what we need to do to make sure we're staying profitable is we're going to take this average ticket, so it's going to be $1,000, and then we're going to actually subtract 366 from it. Okay, and then once we do that, we're going to get about 634. So $634 of profit, excuse the handwriting, but it's going to be $634 of profit when we're actually running ads. Meaning, this is really good. Hey, let's keep scaling it as long as our closing rate stays the same. Now, again, this is a pretty high closing rate, and so it might be a little bit less profit, but if everything is within KPI and you're hitting your margins like you want, keep scaling the ad, keep pouring more money on. But if you're not and things are going wrong, you need to take a look at the other metrics. Why is my cost per lead so high? So then you would start looking at other metrics like your cost per click. Is your cost per click high? If it's really high, then it's telling you that, hey, this is not a good ad. We need to make sure that we change out our ads and make sure it's a better ad. If our CPMs are high, this means we're paying too much for each impression. If we're paying too much, Maybe it's a bad ad, maybe the copy is bad, or maybe it's a very competitive audience. Therefore, we need to keep mixing and matching to make sure we are staying profitable. So run these numbers through your company every time you're running ads on Facebook. Now, the final step of this video, and one thing I would ask is if you found value from this and you just want us to do this for you, go ahead, book a call with me. We'll jump on a call. We'll see if our program is right for you. If you think this was in-depth and an in-depth program, you should see what we have on the inside of our program. It's a complete done for you setup. We'll set up your ads. We'll provide you with a CRM. We'll make sure you are getting leads through the door and making sure you are closing more and growing your Christmas light installation business. The second thing I want to mention is that we've done this for others. We've helped, for example, Roberto from the Wash Bros get a 15x ROI last year on his lights, and we're planning to do even more this year. We spent $2,000. We've made him over $30,000 last year on his lights. So we have a proven track record on what we do. And the third step would be, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Please hit the thumbs up. Like, you're just telling me that you enjoyed these types of videos, and I'll keep providing more value to you. Once again, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you got value from it, and I'll see you in the next one.